Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? The Philadelphia Flyers get a big-time victory at home against the Carolina Hurricanes. They win 4-1, and the Flyers are now 7-5-2. This is an opportunity to get away and pull away from that 500 mark. Get some victories. Put together a streak. I'm sick and tired of 500 hockey. We are 7-5-2. There is an opportunity ahead of us to gain some wins here so we can pull away from that 500 record that has described Philadelphia Flyers hockey for so long. Before we dive into this game, do not forget about the promo code BROADS. Use the promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout page for $20 off of your SeatGeek's purchase when you are buying tickets. So make sure you use it and get yourself to a game. There have been a few games so far this season for the Flyers where they dominated, they put a lot of pucks on net, but the other team won the hockey game. So many times, actually, where the Flyers look like the better team, but they weren't able to execute enough to get the victory. This was the complete opposite. For the first two periods, Carolina dominated the game. Carter Hart was spectacular, making saves that were unbelievable. This is what you're going to get out of Carter Hart. Games where he looks bad and he struggles and we think he should get pulled. And then there's games like New Jersey earlier this season and tonight where he takes over and puts the team in a fantastic position to win. Carter Hart was special in the hockey game, and he was the reason why they were able to win at the end of the day. Through the first two periods, he stood on his head, and Carolina had control. Really, they did. Putting pucks on net, gaining the zone, having momentum. The Flyers were hanging on, and it definitely helped scoring first. 3 minutes into the game, the Flyers get a power play. Matt Niskanen, Shane Gostisbehere working the puck up at the top of the blue line. Niskanen throws a puck on net, and Sean Couturier gets a stick on it to score to give the Flyers a 1-0 lead. It helps that they had at least one goal on the board during the time of the Carolina Hurricanes putting a ton of pressure on. Sean Couturier finding ways to get on the score sheet even though he's banged up and can't even take face-offs and play his position. It's truly remarkable. But the Flyers did have a 1-0 lead early in the game. So the second comes along around 6 minutes in. Carolina gets on the board. It was a nice play, great puck movement, a wide open net there as the puck was smooth and moving, definitely getting Carter Hart out of position. I wouldn't say he had the best defense during that time in front of him, but he also got his stick knocked out of his hand. Alain Vigneault didn't want to challenge. It was questionable. Carter Hart was out of the blue paint. It was one of those calls where you really don't know which direction it's going to go, and considering you get a penalty if you challenge and you're wrong, Alain Vigneault didn't want to take the gamble because think about it. If you're wrong, now the score is 1-1 and you're putting Carolina on the power play, it's a scary thing to do. I agree with Alain Vigneault in that situation just because it's so close. You don't really know which direction it's going to go in, and Carter Hart was out of the blue paint for the most part, so it was super close. I'm okay with Alain Vigneault not challenging. Carolina tied the hockey game up 1-1. I didn't feel great in that moment because, like I stated, the Hurricanes had a ton of momentum. They're a scary squad. Their record is 9-5-1. Now, they cooled off a bit from the hot start that they were on in the beginning, but they are a deep team. I don't believe in Peter Mrazek. We saw him here in Philly, of course. I don't believe in him being the answer, although he had some good games last season for that squad. But with Dzingel and Aho, they are a good team, and they have a ton of talent. Their head coach is phenomenal, and they really buy into his system and his culture. So just keep a lookout for this squad. It's not a big hockey city. It's not a huge market, but you saw what they did last year with the bunch of jerks slogan, and they made a huge push. They're going to do it again this season. This is an impressive win, a 4-1 victory. It really is. So that brings us to the third period, and I mentioned the final score was 4-1. Yeah, the Flyers came alive in the third. Carter Hart did his job for the first two periods. The Flyers had a really great third, scoring 3 goals, and it started with Travis Konecny. He made the score 2-1. Once again, Matt Niskanen from the blue line puts a puck on net. The rebound pops right to TK on the left side of Mrazek, and he bangs it into a wide open net. When you are that consistent, when you are playing that great, the puck finds you. The puck finds you. Now, in my hockey career, that puck never found me in opportunities like that. Never. And if it did, that puck would have bounced right over my stick. That's how unlucky I was as a goal scorer. Now, I was a stay-at-home defenseman who blocked shots and was on the PK, so it's a different story. But for Travis Konecny, when you are hot, when you have that mojo, the puck's going to find your stick. And that's exactly what happened for Travis Konecny. So that was Matt Niskanen again with an assist from the blue line. Then Joel Farabee scores. The kid is so special. He plays with great energy, and he really is super smart. He's aggressive. His work ethic is unbelievable. He found a way to put the puck in the net for comfort. It was an insurance goal. The Flyers are now up 3-1. Now, it sucked because during the broadcast, as soon as they scored, it showed the Carolina bench looking at the replay, talking to the people upstairs. Should they challenge it? Should they not? I got so nervous because it seems like every time Joel Farabee finds the back of the net, it gets challenged and overturned, but they did not challenge anything. Hallelujah. And Joel Farabee gets another point. Claude Giroux and JVR getting assists on that goal as well. That top line being able to produce is great, and it didn't stop from there because Claude Giroux gets a breakaway, and he buries it with a clap bomb on the ice. He just winds up and rips it for a 4-1 lead, and the assist from Pitlick and Myers on that goal. So seeing some guys who don't normally get on the score sheet get on the score sheet thanks to the captain, Claude Giroux. So Thursday, the Canadiens are in town, and they're a good team. I mentioned the Flyers record, 7-5-2. I want to pull away from 500 hockey. That's what I want to do. Overall, I'm enjoying the style of play. The team is bought in. And last year, you saw a team that gave up, that didn't understand anything, clueless in the D zone. This team is willing. This team is working extremely hard. They're engaged. They care. And Alain Vigneault has created that type of atmosphere with this team, so it is fun to watch them play. I just want to see them put together a solid streak. I will be devastated. Not devastated is a strong word, but I would be disappointed if Thursday the Canadiens come to town and the Flyers don't look good, and then we're 7-6-2. Like, I want to see them pull away from this 500 hockey thing. They have the opportunity to. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I want to see them do it. Someone who impressed me, and I have mentioned this before, and he was on the score sheet twice in this hockey game as he recorded 2 assists, is Matt Niskanen. I bashed Chuck Fletcher for taking on some of Radko Gudas's contract to bring in Matt Niskanen. To be fair, I don't think Matt Niskanen was playing this well the last season or so. He found some of his old self in Philadelphia, which is great, but he has been really solid in helping out Ivan Provorov big time. He had 2 points, like I said. Claude Giroux with 2 points. Sean Couturier, 2 points. I mentioned his injuries that he's battling through. Well, guess what? It's not stopping him from producing. The amount of money he gets paid, it's a robbery what the Flyers are getting production-wise for Sean Couturier for his contract. The guy just plays through everything, too. Always. Now, I know a lot of hockey players play through insane stuff. Broken ribs, collapsed lungs, no hands. I mean, people somehow play in the playoffs, and once the season's over and once the playoff runs over, you find out they had no hands. What? How does that even happen? I don't know. But that's just hockey players. But Sean Couturier always seems to be playing through something and contributing when he's playing through something. It's insane. Joel Farabee, 5 shots on net. The kid just has buzz. And believe it or not, I think he is helping Claude Giroux and JVR right now. Just because there's energy with that line. There really is. The storyline, though, is Carter Hart. It can't go unnoticed how phenomenal he was through the first 40 minutes of the hockey game. He went through a rough patch. He bounced back. It's just what you're going to get. No one should be giving up on this kid. You see the potential. You see what he can be. No one at his age is the promised land of their franchise playing at the actual NHL level. Some organizations might have a Carter Hart at his age, but guess what? He's not even close to the NHL yet. Carter Hart has that potential, and you see games like this. You see ugly ones. That's all part of the growing process. You just need to understand that. This isn't baseball where there's a Juan Soto or Ronald Acuna Jr. where it seems like these 19 and 20-year-old kids are coming up and being electric. You see that as players, maybe forwards, but you don't see that as a goalie in hockey. What we have is unique. It's different. So you have to have a different mindset when looking at Carter Hart every game that he plays. And when you break down his game night after night. It's a totally different mindset because this isn't a normal thing. Travis Konecny finding the net is big as well because he's been the most consistent player for the Flyers, and it just seems like there are gems in this organization. With Ron Hextall, we all got bothered because it seemed like he was taking forever to call up some of these guys. But what he did was he fixed the brutal cap and he put prospects in the Flyers organization, if you will, in the hockey world. Joel Farabee is legit. Travis Konecny is legit. Morgan Frost, who is not called up yet, is legit. You're starting to see these younger players finally coming up to the big club, and it's remarkable and it's super fun. To close this out, I just thought of one thing here, and it was Carter Hart after the game, and it was on post game in the locker room. He was getting interviewed, and actually this was with Taryn Hatcher outside of the locker room. This wasn't when the beat reporters go in. It was right afterwards as he was coming off the ice. He was getting interviewed and asked questions, and Joel Farabee came up, and he had this answer about Joel Farabee. Oh, it's nice when the young guys come up and help out. Carter, what? Can you even have an alcoholic beverage yet? Like, Carter Hart is so comfortable and established, if you will, at this point with the big club that he's talking about younger players coming up and helping out the team. I just thought that was hilarious. Carter Hart, you are one of the young guns coming up and helping the team, but he's just a professional and answers the questions as a standard professional will, and really giving his teammates a lot of support and loving everything that they do, which is the right thing to do. I just thought it was hilarious based off of the age. So with that being said, big Flyers win, impressed with the victory. They got outplayed for 40 of the 60 minutes, but in the third, they were electric, and they scored 3 goals, and players stepped up. Matt Niskanen continues to do his thing. Him and Ivan Provorov have been a great mix. I would like to see some more production maybe out of Kevin Hayes. He was the big free agent acquisition, of course. I would like to see a little bit more out of him. But all around, happy for the squad. It was a big win, and for the 1 millionth time, I want to see the team pull away from 500 hockey. Put some wins together. I don't want to see the wins and the losses in the same field here. We have the talent to do so. Make it happen. Thursday, big game, Montreal Canadiens. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.